Hey everyone, my name is Sky, and my husband is Tyson. We're using our real names because we're just average, middle-class people living in a bustling suburb near a city. Today, I want to tell you about my crazy mother-in-law, Jill. To start with, Jill was not thrilled to have me in her son's life. Can you guess why? This woman had her heart set on Tyson marrying her best friend's daughter. She talked about it like it was destiny. Once, she even said to me, "Sky, you're just a temporary spot in Tyson's life. My best friend's daughter, Samantha, is his true life partner. They grew up together and are thick as thieves." Samantha, by the way, is the same woman who's been harassing Tyson on social media and in public. I'm pretty sure Tyson wants nothing to do with her now. But Jill brushed it off, saying, "It's just a silly misunderstanding because of you. You made Tyson blow everything out of proportion. Are you going to ignore the fact that she tried to forcefully kiss him at a party? That's assault, and it's definitely not okay." Oh, Samantha just got a little excited. She does love Tyson a lot. If you weren't so publicly affectionate with him, she wouldn't have done that. Plus, it's not even a big deal. Tyson and Samantha are meant to be together. Just wait. I'm sure Tyson will cheat on you. It's only a matter of time. You won't be able to keep him. Yes, it was incredibly bizarre. I'm not one of those women who tolerate nasty people just because they're family. The first thing I did was tell Tyson everything. As usual, he was furious and confronted Jill. The fact that she didn't care about her son being assaulted should have been a major red flag for him, as it was for me. But Tyson had a hard time letting his mom go. His brother Brian also advocated for their mother, begging us to forgive her every time. So we were stuck in a cycle of forgiving Jill and her doing something stupid again. The last straw was at our wedding. Jill brought Samantha as her plus one. When she asked for a plus one, I was skeptical. Tyson's father was never in the picture, and we didn't know she was dating anyone. Tyson didn't want to fight with his mom, so she was granted a plus one. Who knew she would bring Samantha? They were both thrown out, of course. After that, we went low contact with Jill. We were still paying her rent because she took a lower-paying job. But Jill was banned from our house and wasn't allowed to contact us except for emergencies. She didn't like that, and neither did Brian. He said, "Guys, can you not do this to Mom? I know she made a mistake, but she's still your mom, Tyson. She's been crying and missing you." There's no use crying now. She should have considered the consequences when she repeatedly crossed our boundaries and refused to take the Samantha incident seriously. I replied, "I get it, Sky. But seriously, I'm sure she won't repeat this. You guys gave me a house key for emergencies, but not her. How will she help you when I'm not around? My sister has a key too, so that's not a problem." I countered. "Okay, then at least let her visit sometimes. Talk to her when she calls. She doesn't deserve this treatment," Brian pleaded. Brian did his best to argue on behalf of his mom, but Tyson had had enough and shut him down. Since Tyson is supporting Brian through college, Brian didn't make much trouble. He was scared of pissing off his brother. We thought the issue had been resolved, and for a month, there was some peace. But soon, something strange began to happen. For about 2 months, Tyson and I found unfamiliar lingering around the house. Anyone in this situation would immediately doubt their spouse, but we knew better. At first, we were annoyed, but then we became seriously concerned. Someone was coming into the house and deliberately leaving these items behind. Our first suspects were my sister and Brian, but they both had their own apartments and didn't need to use ours for any recreational activities. Then my mind immediately went to Jill. I told Tyson, "I have a bad feeling that Jill is somehow involved in this." "What are you saying, Sky? Mom doesn't have access to our house, and she has no way to come inside. Don't be ridiculous." Tyson replied, "She tried to make me believe you were cheating on me before. she might be trying the same trick again. Besides, she knows our schedules and could easily come by when we're not home. I don't know, Sky. It seems like a bad suspicion. Mom has respected our boundaries so far. There's no way she would do something so childish. No matter how much in denial Tyson was, I was almost sure Jill was behind this. I was angry at her for trying to mess up my marriage and making me feel creeped out in my own home. But without concrete evidence, I decided to let it go and gather more proof before cutting Jill out of our lives for good. I got the chance to catch Jill only a week after this conversation. I was scheduled to go on a girls' vacation with my friends, a trip very few people knew about. Tyson would be alone at home, with Brian joining him between classes. The whole trip was planned, and I was looking forward to it. However, tragedy struck one of my friends, and we had to cancel the trip. I'm not going to reveal what happened due to privacy reasons, but it was serious enough that we couldn't go. So, Tyson and I ended up cuddling on the couch while watching TV. He was happy he didn't have to stay away from me for 2 weeks. As we were about to have dinner, I got a call from Jill. I wanted to hang up, but I remembered she hadn't called me in months, so I thought it might be an emergency. I put her on speaker and hushed Tyson as I picked up. Immediately, I heard Jill crying. "Sky, I'm so sorry to disturb you at this hour, but there's something really important I need to tell you." "What's the matter, Jill? Are you crying? Is everything all right?" "No, everything is not all right, Sky. I was near your house, and I saw Tyson with another woman. They were making out in your own house, Sky. I saw it with my own eyes." "What? Can you give me some details about this?" Tyson was looking at me with wide eyes. Shared his look but remained calm, motioning for him to stay quiet so I could talk to Jill without her knowing anything. I knew she had some sort of agenda. She continued, "What can I say, Sky? It was horrible. I don't think I can tell you what they were doing. It's embarrassing and disgusting. Thank God I walked away before I saw more. Oh my God, I'm so disgusted. You should divorce him, you know." I don't know, Jill. Have a hard time digesting this information. I don't think Tyson would ever cheat on me like that. Are you sure you saw him with someone else? Yes, I'm sure, Sky. I saw it with my very own eyes. I walked off immediately before they could spot me. You need to get your head out of the clouds, Sky. I'd always told you my son would cheat on you. Gone were Jill's tears and sadness from discovering her son allegedly cheating on his wife. Instead, she now sounded smug. She was convinced that Tyson cheated on me because I wasn't capable of keeping him happy. It became clear that Jill hadn't called me to warn me. She wanted to gloat. No matter how hard she tried to sound concerned, her real motive spittled out within minutes. "You really did tell me that Tyson would cheat on me," I said. "I wish I had listened, but I still don't understand. Tyson and I were happy together. Why would he do this to me? You are a dumb witch, Sky. My son is such a handsome and intelligent man. He could get anyone he wanted. You trapped him with your charms and forced him to marry you. Now he sees through your innocent face and finally understands his worth. So, you're saying my husband cheated because I wasn't good enough?" "I still don't believe it, Jill. He would never do that to me." "Oh, but he did? Dear Sky, just like I predicted. He slept with someone else the moment you were out on vacation. If you want to stay in denial, do as you please. But I know the truth because I saw it with my own eyes. Be ready to have your stuff thrown out of the house once you come back. You really do sound very sure of yourself, Jill. I guess I'll have to take your word for it. Why don't we add Tyson to this conversation and confront him together? That would be the best solution, right?" Jill started to protest, but I signaled Tyson to speak. He was already stewing in anger. trying hard to hold himself together after hearing his mother insult us repeatedly. I said, "Hey, Tyson, your mom is saying she saw you cheating on me with someone else in our own house. What's going on? Dear Mom, what the hell are you talking about? Why would you make up such a fake story like this? I'm not cheating on Sky and never will. But I saw you with someone, Tyson. You can't deny it. You were making out with someone in the house. I know Sky isn't home, so you must have taken advantage of it. What is this story you're spinning, Mom? Nothing like that happened. Why are you trying to ruin my relationship? Son, why are you getting mad at me? I'm on your side. I always knew you would get tired of Sky. She's not good enough for you. Trust me, I'm not mad that you cheated. Stop it, Mom. I haven't cheated on Sky. Stop spinning this story. I don't know who told you this, but there is no one else for me. I love Sky, and I would never even dream about cheating on her. Come on, Tyson. You don't have to lie. I saw you cheating with my own eyes. Just because Sky isn't at home doesn't mean she won't find out the truth. Who the hell said that Sky isn't at home? There was a stunned silence on Jill's side while she processed that question. I was thoroughly enjoying the show and was really interested to know where and how Jill was getting information about us. We were close to cracking this case, and my heart swelled with anticipation. I said, "That's a question to ask, Tyson." So, Jill, how did you know that I would be out of town? I'm sure Tyson didn't tell you. We barely talk to you anymore. How did you know? That's not important, Sky. Who cares how I know? You should be more concerned about your marriage than me. Who knows, my son might come to his senses and leave you. He's already banging someone else as soon as you leave for vacation. Now here's the catch, Jill. I never went on that vacation. Yes, I was supposed to leave today, but one of my friends had a tragedy, so we canceled the trip altogether. What? You didn't leave for vacation? But I saw. Yes, Jill. You saw Tyson cheating on me with someone else. But there's one important detail, Jill. You said that you saw this with your own eyes. Pray tell, what were you doing at the house? You weren't supposed to know about the vacation, and you weren't supposed to come into the house. How did you do that? Mom, where did you get the keys? Answer me. There was another round of stunned silence on Jill's end. At that moment, Jill knew she had messed up. We had caught her doing something shady, and she had nowhere to escape. She didn't know what to say and remained silent for a few seconds before mumbling something and hanging up. She got scared and didn't want to say anything that could land her in further trouble. Tyson was extremely furious and finally started to see that we needed to cut Jill out of our lives. But the question remained. God, I can't believe this. Tyson said, so Mom had been coming to our house regularly. You were telling the truth. The things that were happening in the house made it seem obvious. I knew that it had to be her. She may not have been talking to us, but she sure does know a lot. I've been thinking about the same thing, Tyson. How the hell did she get a copy of our key? This is insane. I have a hunch, Tyson. I believe it was Brian who gave her the key. Look, Brian always told us that we were being cruel to his mother, so we know for a fact that he doesn't agree with us. That's not possible. He'll never betray me. He has some issues towards you, but I doubt he would go this far. Think about it, Tyson. He's the only one in the family who knew about my vacation and the only one outside my friend's circle who didn't know that the plan had been canceled. Suddenly, it all starts to sound right. Tyson looked stressed for a while and was in denial, but slowly the details added up. It became evident that Brian was feeding Jill info about us. Also, he was one of the few people who had access to our house keys. After we talked about this issue, we went straight to the apartment where Brian was staying and, guess what? Jill was there, looking panicked. Tyson looked even more furious than before. I said, Looks like my hunch was right, Tyson. It was Brian who had been meddling in our business. What? What are you talking about? My mom can be here whenever she pleases. Also, I don't need your permission to talk to her. No, we never told you not to talk to Mom, but we told you not to share information about us with her. You crossed our boundaries and did just that. And you gave her a copy of our house keys, didn't you? Brian looked concerned. He might be an adult, but he still got scared of his older brother. He kept looking at his mom, who was staring at her feet, not talking. Brian didn't know what to say. His panic made him unable to come up with any story to save himself. I said, "There is no use denying this, Brian. We already know it was you. You were one of the two people who have our house keys. And I know for a fact that my sister wouldn't give Jill the keys even if her life depended on it. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't give her any house keys. Hell, I didn't even know she went to your house. You don't know that, Brian. Isn't that why Mom is here crying? Are you telling me she isn't here to inform you that she has been caught? Do you think I'm dumb? You are the one who told Jill about my vacation, and you were the only one who didn't know that it was canceled. You can't lie to us, Brian. We know for sure that it was you." "Look, I jest. Tyson, she's your mother. How can you just lock her out of your life like that? I know I crossed a major boundary, but Mom was just worried about you. Mom was so worried about me that she trespassed and then tried to plant evidence in my home. She tried to break me and Sky apart, Brian. Can't you see that? I was just doing this for your own good, Tyson. Sky isn't the right match for you. My friend's daughter has loved you since kindergarten. You should have married her. I promised her that I would make you divorce Sky." Brian didn't know everything. He just felt bad for me. Don't yell at him like that. Me and Tyson were shocked to hear this. We knew that her friend's daughter had been highly inappropriate with Tyson, which is why we didn't see her anymore. We knew that Jill didn't agree with our decision, but we didn't know she had been actively encouraging this girl's wild dreams. Tyson had no idea, and even Brian looked hella surprised. "Mom, you promised that you wouldn't do anything like this. That's why I gave you their keys and details about them. You promised that you wouldn't try to break them up. We talked about this, Mom. I know what's best for Tyson. I don't want to hear anything else. Sky is a woman and won't be able to keep Tyson for long. I bet she's using him for money and will divorce him after a few years. I'm trying to save my son from ruin. Don't you dare talk about my wife like that. You didn't do anything for me or my happiness. You did this because you have a messed up dream of seeing me marry your best friend's daughter. You care nothing about me or my feelings. Hell, you trespassed into my house and invaded my privacy. Mom, don't think I will ever forgive you for that. It's time me and Sky go low contact with you." No, Tyson. What are you saying? I'm your mother. You can't just do this to me. We already dealt with this low contact nonsense. Let's not escalate things and make it worse. You are the only one escalating things and making it worse, Mom. You crossed all of our boundaries a million times and tried to break us up multiple times as well. Tyson might forgive you because he's your son, but I never will. That also applies to you, Brian. No matter what your reasons, you shouldn't have betrayed us in the first place. There, my wife has said it. Since she wants nothing to do with you two anymore, I don't either. Consider all your financial privileges gone. Mom, I'm not paying your rent. Brian, your college fees are on you, and so is the accommodation. I don't reward people for bad behavior. My decision is final." After hearing this, both Brian and Jill started to beg and plead with us for forgiveness. They made promises about being better and finally respecting our boundaries. I guess it was a little too late for that. After some more rounds of shouting and berating on all sides, Tyson told Jill never to contact him again. We were also changing locks and setting up security cameras for good measure. We threatened Jill with a cease and desist letter if she did anything stupid. She kept crying and begging for forgiveness from Tyson while occasionally calling me names. Brian just stood there with his head down, finally understanding the gravity of the situation. Now that wraps up what happened on that fateful day. Do you want to know what happened afterward? Well, Jill got arrested, of course. Turns out she really wasn't interested in taking us seriously at all. We changed the locks and installed security cameras the next day. That night, she came pounding on our door, crying and screaming about how I can't separate her from her son. She threw my precious potted lilies at the door, and we promptly called the police. She kicked and screamed about how she deserved to be in the house that belonged to her son and how I was holding her grown-ass man hostage in his own house. The police ignored her lies and took her back to the station. We couldn't file a restraining order with the limited evidence, but we are trying our best. My sweet husband bought me brand new lilies to make up for the lost ones. With that out of the way, here's what happened when Jill realized that her son really wasn't giving her any money at all. Brian realized it quickly and took up 2 jobs to support himself. He was actually remorseful about what he did, so there is some hope of salvaging our relationship. But Jill went mad when Tyson didn't send her money. She did work, but not enough to stay in an apartment. Right now, the most she can afford is a trailer. Anyway, she didn't learn her lesson and came banging on our door again. This time, she discarded the pots and threw Tyson's armchair at the door. How creative, right? The police were not thrilled, and we finally got a restraining order in place. We don't know the whereabouts of Jill anymore since she realized what a waste of money it would be to hire a lawyer or make bail, so she is keeping away for now. Tyson and I have joined couples counseling and are working to strengthen our marriage. We have been discussing talking to Brian again, but we are on the fence about it. I don't know what the future holds, but I sure do enjoy the peace right now.